The famous two-rail bank. This will get you out of a lot of problems playing 8-ball, especially when that pocket is clogged up right there. And of course, it's very handy playing banks too. It's worth 2 rails if you're playing per bank. At this angle is pretty much straight in. You just have to hit the short rails, both of the short rails, and it should come out right in line. This one's straight in. It doesn't have to be straight in. You're just going to have to play with it and get down on it. But once you get the hang of it and understand what's going on, it shouldn't be a problem for you.
What a surprise.
Another one that's basically straight in, but you'd be surprised at how many times this shot is missed because people take it for granted. And if your table is good and your rails are tight, then it's just a mirrored angle. The one ball is going to come off the rail at the same angle the one ball went into the rail, and that's if it's dead straight in. Once you start putting English on these balls, it's going to throw it or kill it off the rail. So you should just practice center ball, just hitting them center ball. And if it's just a mirrored angle and straight in, it should come back off the rail, and you should pocket the ball. If that doesn't happen, it's probably because your rail is dead. So there's a lot of factors in here, even though it's just straight in. I tend to shoot them a little bit harder than most people because if the rail is dead, I'm trying to compensate for that too. And that's a straight in one. If it's off angle, you're going to have to play with it a little bit. You should practice these a lot.
You just doing that to make you feel better. Darn.
2 rails in the corner all the way back down table. These are fun shots to play when you're actually playing, and they tend to open people's eyes. This one's straight in, but practice it at different angles and getting back up table. They can be a little bit tricky because you're dealing with a lot of distance here, and they're hard to get, to get the object ball to go absolutely straight in dead center pocket. But if you practice it, it's all about practice, and all banks should always be practiced because, again, tables vary. And the angle that you're shooting at varies, and it's never the same as it was last time. So you have to kind of get to know the English and the speed of the shot.
I don't want to do nothing. You don't want to know that. Got some songs. Pretty sure that was.
Hey, now we're getting really serious with the 4-rail bank. And when most guys shoot this, they go too long on that other short rail and they wind up hitting it right at about the first diamond when you're actually aiming for this middle diamond, the second diamond. And that should get you out to the long rail second diamond on this rail. And at that point, you're straight into that corner.
13, man. Yeah. 2, 3, and 13. Yeah. Hey, play something? Huh? You want to play something? Yeah. You got to okay. Agree? I didn't bring one in. I can do it. You can break them up. Okay, break stick? No. Well, if I break, I use the same.
Here's a billiard shot that's often overlooked because either people don't know about it or they're so intent on getting the right position to make that combination on the 1 to the 9 that they just flat out miss it. And then they wind up kicking the ball down table to get their opponent, out of line for that shot. And it's just a loss of your options. There's a really easy shot here that's not always obvious, and so this is what it looks like on the graphic. And from this position, I can't see the edge of the one to make the 1-9 combination, so I'm going to have to come up with something else. And by kicking into the back of the one ball and by hitting its center ball on the one ball, the cue ball has nowhere else to go but straight toward that 9 ball, and it looks like this.
Here first.
And here's another one that players often overlook because they get so wrapped up in the game and so wrapped up in their position play. And if you get in this position, if your opponent dogged the one ball and it left you this, it's a little distracting. And we just tend to overlook our options. And there's an easy dead-on option right here. And all you have to do is kick this one ball into the 5. And the 5 is dead in the side. Now, you don't have the greatest shot in the world on the one ball, but it's better than nothing. Here's another one that's very, very often overlooked, and I'm convinced that it's just because people don't know this shot. People, just don't understand why this one ball would be dead in the corner, and it's a tangent line shot. So I'll try to explain it on a graphic. If we draw a line straight through the heart of these two balls, and then we go between those two balls and find it 90 degrees from that line, then we see it goes a little bit to the left of the pocket. Now the one ball is going to travel in a parallel line to that 90-degree line, and that parallel line goes straight to the heart of the pocket. What do you say about the draw shot? It's vital, trust me. If you're avoiding practicing it, you shouldn't. You should get competent with this because you're going to be using it all the time. And people will get a little bit nervous of this shot because they tend to miscue or whatever. And the biggest problem you're going to have, and the reason why you're miscuing, is because you're tightening up and getting nervous and you're not following through. Some people get a little bit afraid that the cue ball is going to come back and hit the tip of their stick if they don't jump up. If you are miscuing, the reason is the tip of your cue is hitting the table before it's hitting the cue ball, and that's usually caused by jumping up prematurely, and you're jumping up because you're getting nervous of it. Just practice it. What more can I say? You just have to practice a lot, and you'll get comfortable with it. Just practice the right things and practice staying down and practice following through. The backwards cut bank. Yeah, we're shooting this down there in that corner. And people, again, they miss this shot. They don't see it because it's just seems a little unnatural. But the more you practice it, the more you do it, it just becomes second nature. And the big trick here is you're putting right hand English on this ball. Yeah, it's just outside English, you could say. But no bottom, no top, just dead right hand English, and you're spinning it off that rail. And right here, I'm not trying to get shape to make this combination on the 5-9. I'm actually looking to get behind the 5 so I can shoot it up in this corner. And you'll see the natural path of the cue ball if you shoot it with right hand. Well, nothing's more vital than the brake, so I had to include this in the Vital Shot series, which we're now on the third part. We're also coming up with the third part on the brake series. So if your brake needs help and you're not following the brake series, you really should do it. We're covering everything A to Z. Everything you could think of about the brake will be covered. And it's not only the most vital shot in pool, it's also the hardest shot to master and be consistent.
You ain't got that drink yet? Well, I got the rest of your cup now, so suck it up. Just suck it down one.
Damn, you're getting nasty.
Don't be nasty to me. I brought you a cup of coffee too.
I'm not. You're. Thank you.
You're welcome. Richard's special, so he got a cup and a half.
Ah.